I definitely have mixed feelings about this episode of Blue Exorcist, because at the core, Bond's father lives. When it was revealed that he was alive, I was actually a little upset. I was like, no, he got stabbed through the throat, he would have bled out by this time. But when they reveal how he survived, it does make sense. I mean, his familiar is a phoenix. Phoenix have regeneration powers, so they can die and be reborn, so it's actually completely and 100% believable that his familiar could heal his wounds and stop him from bleeding out. I mean, he's not just back up to great health, he still lost so much blood that if he does anything crazy, he would die. So how the familiar heals his wounds, it does make 100% sense, but I'm torn 50-50 on this. On one hand, I really would have liked to see Bond walk in to see his father die and be like, holy hell, this is going to trigger some amazing emotional character development. But at the other time, it makes sense that he's alive, and there still is that chance he might die later on. But I think at the core, I do want to see Bond's father die, not because I hate his character, but because it just would make this arc really special. Not because every arc needs to have that, holy hell, major character died, but it would just set the motion of Bond breaking and kind of coming to terms with everything. But I mean, it just feels like it was set up for the perfect, I did not expect that death, and then they took it away from us. Like, I at least appreciate they took it away from us in a believable way with a phoenix, but still, I would like to see him die before the season wraps up. I mean, I don't think we're going to. I think he's going to live because this is a shonen series, but I would really appreciate it if Bond's father did die. I mean, get some closure with Bond and him as well, but still, I'd like to see that. But this episode was basically, we meet up with Bond's father there, and then everyone pretty much makes a plan of how to attack everyone. But I thought, you know, the core, the main meat and bones was the whole conversation, everyone making a plan of how to take on the Impure King here. It's gonna be interesting because now Bond now has his father's familiar, he's made the pact, we learn exactly why. Bond was always wondering, like, why the hell is my father always pushing me away? I want to follow in his footsteps, and his father always shoved him away because he didn't want his son to follow in his footsteps like he had to with his father's. He wanted him to have his own life and not be forced into this contract, not be forced into giving your life for the creed here. So I liked how, even though he was trying so hard to throw him away, Bond came back and said, no, I'm going to follow in your footsteps. I did really like that. I did like that scene between them, and that's why I am sort of happy that he is alive so we could have that moment. But still, at the core, I would like to see Bond's father die before this wraps up. I think it would be a nice emotional tie to close off the series. I doubt we're gonna see it. Please no spoilers for people who know the source material, but I think we should see that nonetheless. But I think it's interesting how at the end of the episode we see Rin's brother. He's essentially losing control of his emotions there. He's being toyed with by the antagonist there, pretty much saying you're just Rin's bodyguard, that's all you are, and he's trying to get him fired up so he loses control, makes a mistake so he can kill him. But it's gonna be interesting. I still have faith that he's gonna keep cool. He's not going to lose himself, but maybe he will, you never know. But I think that at the core, this was a really solid episode, and based on what I heard, this isn't going to be a quick one-episode fight kind of a thing, which I'm happy for, because this is set up as being, holy hell, this is the Impure King, shit's getting real. If they could take him out in one episode, that'd be really lackluster, so I'm glad someone last week told me this should be a fairly decent length fight, so I'm glad that's happening. I thought visuals, minus the Impure King, I really hate his character design with the CGI. It's just so bland and boring. For such a menacing force, I really wish there was something more creative with the character design, but if we remove that in terms of the facial expressions, the character models, everything like that, nothing really dipped, nothing really crazy happened minus the fight near the end, but still, it was a very good episode overall. I liked how they're trying to fight him off with fire, things like that, but I'm just really hoping Bond's father doesn't stay alive for good. I mean, it does make sense how he survived that sword through the throat, Phoenix healing powers. I just really hope that he's 100% cool and everything's fine. I would like to see Blue Exorcist go past the typical shonen route of keeping the character alive for good. Time will tell what happens, but I thought this was a pretty decent episode of Blue Exorcist. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you on board with myself? You really don't think he should have stayed alive, but it does make sense how he stayed alive, because that's how I'm feeling. Let me know your thoughts, and be sure to hit that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.